Hello, and today I'm going to be talking to you about using Drupal's form system to alter and style and change your forms. Now, as we all know, Drupal is a very complex system, allowing you to go in virtually any direction you want to go in, but it can seem coarse for the user, so designers and themers need to improve the user experience as best they can. And you can do virtually anything with Drupal, so that's always more than possible. That's what we're going to talk about doing today. I'm going to talk about altering forms using Drupal. Now, there's loads of things on the web about this, but I only just kind of had a eureka moment about how to do it, and this is kind of getting into module development. And I'm not a savvy PHP guy, so I don't know what a lot of this stuff means, but I just know how to get it done, and I know that it does what I want it to do. It improves the user experience. Be aware that this could be a very, very long tutorial with many cuts in it, because obviously I'm still learning this. I only learned it a few hours ago. I've been trying to learn this for months, but it was finally my eureka moment a few hours ago, and I wanted to share it with you guys. This is the only screencast on the web which has audio in it that shows how to do this, so I want to make a really good job of it. Just so that you know, we're using hook form alter in a module if you're a Drupal guy. So if we look at the example, this is a site that I developed for a client, and it uses Drupal, and I want him to be able to do this as easy as possible. But if we look at this edit form or the node add form, look at all these fields. We've got the menu, which I'm responsible for, and clutters up the interface. We've got the input format, which is just confusing to users. The revision information, which even I'd never use. The URL powerful toast settings, which are important, but it's important that he doesn't touch them, so I want those to be gone. The publishing information and the authoring information. There's no reason why you'd want to change the author, or why he'd want to anyway. And the publishing options. So think about all that things that we could get rid of to make his life easier, and that's what we're going to do today. What we're going to do is basically leave the title and the body field for page, adding page nodes. You can do it on a node per node basis, and that's important that you do, because obviously you're going to need to show certain fields for certain nodes, depending on what it is. But for the page, we're only going to show title and body, which is what we need. So let's dive in. I've just got Coda open here, and as you see, I'm in my modules directory that's set up for the site, and a lot of sites have stuff like this, miscellaneous modules that just implement a whole bunch of tweaks that are site specific and can't be used on any other site. So that's what we're going to create today. I'm just going to create a module called mods. So I'm in my modules directory, and I'm just going to go into my create a folder called mods. And this is great practice for me, because, as I say, my eureka moment was only a few hours ago. So done it. So this is really good practice for me. In our modules folder, we want to create a new file called our module name, in my case mods. .info. This tells Drupal everything it needs to know about every module in Drupal. So we're gonna define a few basic things, and this is the really easy part. You don't need any PHP knowledge to do this. I'm gonna say name, and in my case I'm just gonna set this as green finger mod cations. I'm sorry if I spelt that wrong. We're going to set the description, which is going to be the description in Drupal. Implement site specific tweaks. So we've got that filled out. The next bit we're going to need for all Drupal 6 modules, and that is going to be the core thing. And what we're going to do is, to say it's compatible with Drupal 6, we're going to say core equals 6.x, and then we're going to say version I could set this equal to a static version number, and that's maybe something that some people do, but I don't choose to do that. I want it to increment every time core is upgraded, so it be 6.11 or 6.12 or whatever. So I'm just going to set that to version. That's all I need. I'm going to do one more thing there. I'm just going to set project equal to mod. That's just for Drupal.org, even though with these type of modules you're not going to be uploading it to Drupal.org, and there's some other very important stuff that you need to put in these files if you're going to be uploading to Drupal.org to stay consistent with their coding standards. But for most of these site-specific modules, they're going to be useless to anyone else who wants to use them. So because they're really custom, they have to be for what you need to do. The next thing we're going to create is a mods .module file. This is what's going to house all our PHP code and all our interfacing with Drupal hooks to do this stuff. Another important thing to note is that if I start writing PHP now, my text editor coder would not recognize PHP because it's not PHP file extension, but what we're going to be writing is PHP. So it doesn't recognize the .module extension, but what I'm going to do is tell it manually that we're going to be writing PHP so it knows how to colour things. But that's just a little extra. what we're going to do is put our opening PHP statement and our closing PHP statement. Here's where we can write all the stuff for a module. Now, if you're writing a module, you do stuff for permissions, but this is really, really specific, so we don't need to do all that. We just need to get down to business. The first thing you need to write is a function, and this function is going to be used to implement our hook form alter tweaks that we want to do. In example, the function is shown as hook underscore form underscore alter, but what you actually want to do is put your the name of your module underscore form underscore alter. You don't want to put the name of your, you don't want to put hook, otherwise it won't work. So we're just going to open that, and there's a couple of parameters that this is going to take. The first is going to be the form parameter, and they all have to have this and thing before them, and then variables. So the way you do a variable is just with a $sign. And to be honest, I don't know why you do this. I don't know why a lot of this stuff works the way it does, but I just know that it works. That's an important thing if you're not a developer. A lot of the stuff in Drupal is very developer oriented, so you need to, if your brain doesn't work like that, you need to kind of adopt the attitude, okay, I can write this and it works, but I don't need to understand everything that it means. That's certainly the attitude that I adopt. But I just know these are parameters in PHP, and what my text editor has coloured this gold colour means that we're printing out a PHP variable, and yeah, so, and the $sign means variable in PHP. I don't know what this and sign is, but we need it there. We're going to put a comma, then we're going to put another and sign, and then another variable. And this time it's going to be the form underscore state variable. The next variable, we do away with these stupid and signs, and we just put a normal PHP variable of form underscore ID, and this is the bit that we're going to use. So it takes all those parameters, 1, 2, 3 parameters, make sure you put all those in, and then what we're going to do is we're going to open our function, and inside this function we're going to write the first thing we're going to do is going to do an indentation, and then if you want to know what form you're looking at when you look at a form. You can print the form ID variable, and that'll help you diagnose which form you need to affect. But in my case, I already know which form I need to affect. I need to affect the content type underscore node underscore form. So that's what I'm going to write. But what we need to do is we need a switch statement. And again, I don't know what a lot of this means. Say switch, and then the variable that we need to pass in as a parameter is this form ID variable. And as part of that switch command, we're gonna need I believe you do it this way. We're gonna need to set our case to, and this is where we put the name of the form. The reason why you do it this way is it's like a switch between the different things. So if you want to switch between multiple forms and change multiple forms, I'm just going to put single quotation marks and the name of our form. So in my case, the one I'm going to show you is page underscore node underscore form. At this point, we're going to close our things. I'm going to put a semicolon. At the end of that, we're going to put break. That means what we're now writing is no longer part of this case. It's part of another case. But for all our node page underscore node underscore form edits, we need to put it inside this case. So now you need to basically modify things. What we're gonna try doing first is, I'm not sure if this is right, and if it's wrong then it'll tell me. But what I'm first gonna do is do a print R, and the thing I'm gonna do a print R on is the form variable. This is going to tell me all the stuff I can modify in the form variable. I hope that's right. I'm going to have to not spend too long doing this because it's a live site, and the node the print R is good for development, but if you've got it on too much, it can screw up the display of your site. So we're just going to go to our modules page. And we see our green finger modifications module is enabled. What we now need to do is go to a node edit form. In my case, I'm going to go on the home page and just hit edit. And now we see a whole bunch of stuff that's part of the array. That's what this print R thing did. So, now that we know that, we can start editing stuff. What this tells us is the bits are the things we can modify. So, for example, if we wanted to modify the format, input format, we could just use the format. I'm now gonna get rid of all this stuff before I get into trouble from the person I'm developing for. So that just shows you all the stuff you can edit. I'm just gonna give you a quick example. And you can change the text of what's spit out in things. You can do anything that you want with this, and in this module you're not just limited to hook form alters. You could do anything you want in the future. But this is just what we're gonna do now, and that's pretty much all I'm ever gonna use. But now we're just gonna hide a thing. So I'm gonna hide this whole menu settings box, and I happen to know that the idea of that box is menu. So I'm just gonna show you how to hide something with our module. Making sure we're inside this case, we're gonna just look at the form variable, and then we're gonna get rid of the idea of something we want to affect. And in my case, I happen to know that this, as I said, is menu. I'm gonna end our bit statement. We're gonna end our box. Straight after that, we're gonna open up some more square brackets. Open up our quotations again. We're gonna put a hash sign. I'm gonna say access. We're gonna end that, and we're gonna set that equal to 0. It's a bit weird. I think that means, it means just don't give anyone the permission to see it. So we're gonna save that, and if we go back and refresh, it just got a ton more usable, because that whole menu settings area that I didn't want people to be messing with just went away. So thanks for watching this video, guys, and hopefully you got something from it. Thanks.